Welcome to the dark side of BEASTwriter. I am your host, Ryan Sakamoto, and today we are going to be discussing the Patriots and Raiders joint practice. Now, before we go ahead and get started, I just want to say mahalo and thank you to each and every one of you for subscribing to my channel. Just be sure to turn on and flip on the bell notifications so you get notified when I go live or when I upload content. So I'm getting a lot of questions, fielding a lot of questions, so I'll be going back and forth on today's joint practice. You guys had a lot of questions. You guys have been sending me DMs. I was actually at the gym and still getting DMs left and right. So that's one of those things where I'm just going to have to decipher what platform I'm going to be answering these questions on. And obviously, I'm not going to just go to one and not the other. So I'm going to try to answer everyone's questions in one central location, which is here on YouTube. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get started. And I'm just going to break down the news, notes, and quotes from today's practice, what I learned, what I think that we should know moving forward and ahead as the game comes on this Friday. So again, thank you to each and every one of you for subscribing to my channel. It's been nothing but good vibes only here in the BEASTwriter family. It's nothing but good vibes here. All right, so let's get to the meat and potatoes. All right, so we have obviously Darren Waller. So Darren, my phone keeps going off. Darren Waller. All right, Darren Waller obviously was absent from practice, and he is dealing with a hamstring, reportedly the hamstring injury. That's nothing new. The news that is interesting is the fact that, well, I'm just going to say, I mean, some people are saying it's a hold-in. You know, a hold-in. Is it a hold-in? Is it not a hold-in? People really are kind of on the fence on that. But to be honest with you, it could be either or. Like, I don't see anything wrong with Darren Waller, but that's not to say that he's not injured. That's not to say that he's not banged up. So I'm not going to assume anything. All I'm going to say is this, like, the dude is in line for a new contract. I broke that down in my BEASTwriter Plus newsletter, and I said, this is the ramifications, right? The parameters of exactly why he deserves a front-loaded deal. The numbers don't lie. The numbers do not lie. And so I put this up on Twitter. If you guys are new to follow me, which a lot of you guys are, I'll go ahead and retweet that storyline that was posted, 3 months ago? And I broke it down by the tight end. So by the pay scale, by APY, annual per year. But then I also broke it down and took it a step further. We peel back layers of the onion to get to the core, as I always like to say, because on the surface, we can talk about Darren Waller and from the numbers perspective, but then you have to take into account what he brings to the table under this new regime. And so when you take that into account and then you double down on those games with Rob Gronkowski and Aaron Hernandez, all these other tight ends, and you see what the New England Patriots are doing and solidifying their success with Mac Jones at quarterback. Obviously, they got Hunter Henry from the Chargers, and then they also got Jonnu Smith from Tennessee Titans. So when you see that, you're really looking at it from a two-pronged question as to, okay, what exactly are we getting in Darren Waller, and what's the target share that he's going to have? So when you play the risk-reward game or the valuation versus evaluation game, what exactly is that final number? And I think that's what we have to discuss is maybe Darren Waller's like, hey, man, I'm a top 3 tight end, right? I'm a top 3 tight end. The numbers speak for itself. Numbers don't lie. That's what I've been told. Raiders, thank you so much for the super chat and super sticker. I appreciate those. How is the DC to DA connection? Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So let me tell you something that happened. I'm going to skip around now because you sent me a super chat. So if you guys want to donate the channel, and again, all proceeds get funneled back to you guys, please go ahead and send me a super chat or a super sticker. I think that's what you call them. It's greatly appreciated. But getting back to your question, it's one of those things where you really look at it and say, DC to DA is ridiculous. Devontae Adams just killed the New England Patriots today. Like, murdered them. I don't know what else to say. I mean, from the get-go, whether it be 7-on-7s or 11-on-11s, he's stacking Jalen Mills, who's their number one receiver, number one boundary cornerback. Because remember, J.C. Jackson signed that big money deal to bolt for the Los Angeles Chargers and team up with Derwin James on the back end, who is the highest paid safety now in NFL history, signed the richest contract there. And then also you can't forget Asante Samuel Jr., who they got in the second round last year. And I said the 49ers should have got him instead of Aaron Banks, but here we are today. Now the Beast receipt checks out. Speaking of second round picks from last year, I talked about Christian Barmore. See how I'm doing this? Now we're going to rotate. But getting back to your question, no, Devontae Adams is Devontae Adams. DA is DA. He's killing it. Derek Carr is doing extremely well too. So let me talk to you about Christian Barmore. So I had the chance to catch up with Coach Bill Belichick. All right. And so if you guys missed the YouTube video that I posted a couple. I posted a short video on YouTube, and then I posted the long format video on YouTube as well with my question inserted into it. So the question was, Christian Barmore is playing at a really high level his rookie year. In fact, I graded him at Alabama. I'm a huge Roll Tide Roll fan for those who don't know. And I said, this is my scouting report on him. He's a scheme dependent. He's a scheme diverse guy. He's not scheme dependent. Playing a 34 base or a 4-3 front. If you're playing a 34 base, obviously he lined up as a 3-tech or a 4-tech. And if he's playing in a 4-3, he can obviously play the 3-tech. And so what I saw from him is a player that's scheme diverse, but also not typically do you really notice young edge rushers. He's not even an edge rusher, but young interior rushers, I should say, who collapse the pocket and push the pocket, who are considered pocket pushers. All right. Like Jonathan Hankins talks about being a pocket pusher, right? You don't really see that the ability that he brings to the table other than just that interior rush. And I'm talking about he knocks the ball down at the line of scrimmage. How many guys do you see that happen? I mean, Calais Campbell, yeah, because he's 6'7", 315 pounds. But then you have Eric Armstead, who doesn't really get his hand on the ball from the interior all that often. But the knack that Christian Barmore has is on a different level. So I asked Coach Belichick, I said, hey, Barmore's been playing at a Pro Bowl level, basically. He's been playing well his rookie year, transition to year 2. What's the most significant growth that you've seen him from that transition from year 1 to year 2? And he said, basically echoed the same ideology that Jim Harbaugh told me, right? When I covered Jim Harbaugh with the San Francisco 49ers, he said, that's the biggest growth, right? It's a huge leap because it's an NFL cycle that you have to get used to. You're playing a 17-game season, the daily competition and the daily grind of having to compete for your job. It's not like in college where everyone's not on your level. Now everyone's on the same level. And in fact, some people are better than you. So you have to have that daily grind going into it. And then he talks about scheme. He talks about technique. What does this sound like? Josh McDaniels, the Raider way. Go figure. You pick and choose your spots. And again, for those who are new to follow me, you guys are like, oh, no, it's not the Raider. It's not the Patriot way. It's the Raider way. I call it the winning way. Because what I tell you guys, look, let me show you something. This is the media guide. All right. This is the Raiders media guide for 2022. So why am I pointing this out? All right. So for those who don't know, I'm covering from the 49ers as a beat writer. Now I am covering the Las Vegas Raiders. I said, you know what? I got to know my history. So I read this book, the media guide, and I read Al Davis, right? Read up on Al Davis and what he brings to the table. What does Al Davis bring to the table? Well, did you know that the commitment to excellence was founded on taking the best of both worlds from 2 baseball teams? Did you know that? The Dodgers and the Yankees. The Yankees brought power, the Yankees brought intimidation, and the Yankees always went for that home run. The Dodgers, what did they do well? Well, back in the day, they developed players, right? And so you take the best of both worlds, speed, take the best of both worlds, combined together, what do you have? The Raider way. All right, so Josh McDaniels is doing the same thing. He's just taking the best of what he learned from Coach Bill Belichick and formulating his own cultural identity here in Las Vegas. So that's why I'm thinking that when I asked that question, hey, Christian Barmore is entering year 2, coming from Alabama. What is the significant growth that you see? Now, why would I ask that question on Christian Barmore? Aside that he's a good player. Well, his teammate is who? Alex Leatherwood, who played at where? Alabama. And he was in the what? Same draft class. Right? Same draft class. Alex Leatherwood was 17th pick overall. Christian Barmore went in the second round, number 38. And by the way, in my Beast receipts that I said in real-time analysis, we had ESPN on the show right here in the DOB. We had Mike Rothstein on here. And we were not debating, having a healthy discussion. I said, you know what, look, I'm not afraid to put my analysis in real time. I'm going to say it like this. They should have got Christian Barmore or Javonte Williams. And he's like, oh, well, what about Jalen Mayfield? I was like, nah, man, Jalen Mayfield ain't it. Christian Barmore is it. I did the grades. I ran the grades. It's what I do. Javonte Williams should have been it. You need a running back. This is all in real time. And in hindsight, who would you rather have? Pick your poison. So many teams passed up on Christian Barmore. I thought he was graded as a 25 to 32 range type of a player. Fell into the second round. So kudos to Bill Belichick, who not only got him, but Ramondre Stevenson as well. I like both those guys coming out of college. And so when you look at the Tampa Bay Bucks, who they got? Joe Tryon. How's he doing? Really good. Where's Ndamukong Suh? Oh, he's not on the team anymore. Okay. Right? What are we doing? As Julian Edelman would say from inside the NFL. What are we doing? We got some questions here. Raider Nightmare, also known as Raider Cortez, says, Ryan. What's up, Ryan? How you doing, man? Nice to see you. Santi Valdez says, shout out from Monterrey, Mexico. Santi says, Valdez says, Raiders. We got another Raiders. Robert Pena, my man, says, salute Beast. He says, Raiders. The Ricardo says, Paul G said the connection is overrated. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion. I don't think it's overrated at all. I mean, like I said, everyone's entitled to their own opinion. I have my analysis. PG has his. Tashawn has his. Vic has his. Vinny has his. All the beat writers have their own, right, analysis. It's not right or wrong. It's just different analysis, right? So for me, my analysis is Devontae Adams and Derek Carr is looking sharp. That's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing the ball being thrown in stride. I'm seeing them being the chemistry is on. All right. So usually when you see a new quarterback with a new wide receiver, you have to get the timing down. Well, these guys played in college, so you can already see that dynamic duo between the two and that team chemistry. I tell you what, if you played sports, team chemistry wins every single time. It can beat 11 all-pro players if you have a team that has team chemistry. With 11 players that have team chemistry, I'll take that team any day of the week. Team chemistry is a real thing. DA and DC have that. So, again, everyone's entitled to their own opinion. I'm not saying that PG's wrong, and I'm not saying I'm right. I'm just saying that's my opinion. That's my analysis. So you can pick and choose who you want to go from, take whatever you want. I'm not here to judge. I'm not here to judge anyone. Raider says, probably salty from DC. Oh, but the whole, I don't know if that's it. I don't know. I have no idea if that's it. I don't know. I wouldn't go. I don't know. Hi, Def 66, my man. How are you doing? He says, who will be starting on the line week 1? Will it be today's lineup? Miller, Parham, James, Cotton, Luminor. So I'm not able to report on this because I'm not supposed to report on it. So, but I can have my own analysis on it. And that's far different. So if it was up to me and for me in the best 5, and we talked about this, and again, if you're new, this is new news to you, but if you guys have been following me for since March 22nd, when I first started covering the Raiders full time, it's nothing new. I already said it's Colton Miller. Left guard, I thought it was going to be John Simpson. Center, I thought it was going to be Andre James. Right guard, I thought it was going to be Lester Cotton. And right tackle, I thought it was going to be Alex Leatherwood initially. Not so much anymore. Alex Leatherwood is not a tackle. I'm sorry. He's good in the run blocking game in my DLB grading system, but grades poorly. Oh my God, poorly in pass protection. He does not know how to angle set. He does not know how to vertical set. He doesn't even know how to jump set. In fact, when he's in position to get in those pass pro sets, if you ever watch his arms, he can't extend. Or he overextends, and then the speed rusher just blows right by him. So again, it doesn't matter if you have the arm length if you can't get your hands on the rusher and keep him at bay. Because what you see is this. When he drops back in his stance and then he tries, I'm not saying I'm an offensive line coach, but come on, it's common sense. Go in slow motion, okay? Kick slide, kick slide, kick slide. And then you try to, boom, lock horns, but then you miss. And you're already being beaten on the outside shoulder. What's going to happen is the rusher's just going to dip that inside shoulder and beeline to the quarterback. That's what you see. That's what you see. I'm just saying, that's what you see. So anyways, news and notes. Let me get to it. The Raiders had to get down to the 80-man mandate roster limit. They released Kenyon Drake and Chris Jones, and they also waived Chris Lacey and Crevon LeBlanc. Now, the difference between a person getting waived or released is not up to the player. Or sorry, it's not up to the team. It's based on the NFL accrued seasons under the CBA and the NFLPA, and that they agreed on accrued seasons. So if it's less than 2 years of accrued seasons, you're going to be sent to the waiver wire. And then in that waiver wire, teams will have the option to claim you off waivers, like they did, for instance, with Jordan Jenkins with the Houston Texans, who's now been sent to IR. To IR, because he got hurt in the Dolphins game. He was dealing with a calf injury before, by the way. And so now he got injured again. It looks like his season's done. But without further ado, Michael Farnetti says, do the Raiders add a right tackle or stick with the guys in-house? Who are some possible targets as of now? I think they're going to stick with the guys in-house. I think this late in the season, it's very difficult to plug and play a right tackle there because, again, terminology is different, scheme is different. And again, these different coaches are teaching different techniques. So even if he had a veteran like a Darrell Williams who kind of inserted in, let's go get Darrell Williams. That's easy. Yeah, let's get Darrell Williams. It's not as easy as you think it is, because trust me, when I watch practice, it's like, oh, they're teaching them some crazy technique. And that's not crazy technique. It's not like, oh my gosh, man, it's like second level stuff. But I'm just saying, like, some of the stuff they're doing is kind of like, okay, especially in pass pro, it's like, okay, you'll be diving at the edge rusher's legs. Okay, I see you, but you better hit it. Because if you miss and whiff, that's going to be a beeline to the quarterback. Just saying. Anthony Flores says, what are they asking Clay to do at outside linebacker? Does he have the tools to do what he is asked? No, he does not. Now watch me be wrong. No, I'm Clelin Ferrell. I was highly critical of that number 4 overall pick. I thought it should have been Devin White in real time. Go check my Beast receipts on Twitter. I said Clelin Ferrell was the worst draft pick in the first round. I said this right after the first round ended. Oh, you're hating. Oh, yeah. Mike Mayock knows what. No, he don't. John Gruden don't. No, he don't. It should have been Devin White. I said that in real time. I didn't say that in freaking hindsight. Oh, yeah, they should have put Devin White. No, go check the Beast receipts. Sandy Valdez says, shout out from Monterrey, Mexico. Paul G also said a big change in line coming. Yes, there is a big line in the change coming for sure. Abso-freaking-lutely. All right, so getting back to it, I thought that Devontae Adams and Hunter Renfrow both dominated. Hunter Renfrow owned the slot. All questions, all bets are off. And so that's what I saw from both of them. Now, you can also say, well, the Patriots DBs are not very good, which is in fact true. That's their Achilles heel. I said that in my tweets earlier on before joint practice took place, because I said, you know what? The defensive front seven of the New England Patriots, that's their strength, right? They're a 3-4 defense, read and react style of defense up front with the 3 down linemen. Yeah, the 4 linebackers who basically seek and destroy, kind of like the Las Vegas Raiders, right? And so you look at guys like Lawrence Guy, Dedrick Wise, Christian Barmore, right? Matthew Judon, who's coming off the edge in a 34 base from the Baltimore Ravens, right? At a Grand Valley State, who played with my neighbor, by the way, Cameron Bradford. The defensive front seven is pretty good, right? Jawan Bentley, Raekwon McMillan. All these guys can flow to the football. The back end, not so much. Who did they lose? J.C. Jackson, again, goes to the Los Angeles Chargers. Who was his backup? Joejuan Williams. Out for the season, right? Or he's injured. I don't know if he's out for the season, but he's injured. So now you have Jalen Mills as your number 3 cornerback stepping up to the plate. Kevin Kevin Lurker says, "Good evening. What player do you like the most that might not make the 53-man roster?" Ooh, that's a good question. That is a good question. I'm gonna have to say that is a good question. You put me on the spot on that one. Hey, look, I think DJ Turner is gonna make this team. I think Tyron Johnson's gonna make this team. I think Keelan Cole's gonna make this team. I think Mac Hollins is gonna make this team. I think Devontae Adams, of course, Hunter Renfrow are locks. That's 6 wide receivers. All those 6 wide receivers are gonna make the team. So I would say DJ Turner, but then that's not a given, but it's one of those where I think it's gonna happen. So that's not surprising. I don't think he's on the fence, to be honest with you, because he adds too much versatility. For me, the guy is Austin Walter. I like that guy. I like Austin Walter a lot. Now, people are talking about Britton Brown. I like Austin Walter better than Britton Brown. I know they drafted Britton Brown, the 7th round? I like Austin Walter. I think he's a guy who may not be claimed off the waiver wire. He may kind of fall through the cracks. But if you need a running back in a bind in a pin situation, there'll be no drop off. I should say no drop off, depending on your running back room. Little drop off because he is just so freaking fast and good in open space. It's very good. Very, very good. All right, so let's get to your questions. Egalitarian 207 says, "Ryan, how was Neil Farrell Jr. doing in camp today?" Honestly, I gotta be 100% honest. I didn't get a good chance to see the Raider DBs or the Raider defense simply because they were on the far side of the football field. So I really didn't focus too much on them. Today was all offense for me. It was offense all day, every day. So I was just focused on the offense because that was my vantage point that I got. So it's very difficult. And that just so you guys have some kind of reference of how I do business is obviously you guys know how I work my one-on-ones, and then I formulate my analysis, and boom, tweets are there. How I form my analysis when dissecting and analyzing an offense or a defense is based on my vantage point. If I can't see what's going on 500 yards away, I'm joking, it's not 500 yards away, but I'm just saying a pretty long distance, I'm not going to try to say, oh, yeah, that was a 3 tech right there. Well, I don't know. He might be lined up at the 4th. Oh, it could have been a 4-eye shade. I'm not going to do that because that will give you guys false information. I want to know when I tweet stuff out, it's 100% correct. So just being straight up with you guys, I didn't get a good vantage point on the defense today. It's not my fault. All right, Samoan Raider says, "What's good, man? I don't know if you answered this, but how was DJ Turner and Tyron Johnson looking out there?" Look, DJ Turner and Tyron Johnson are doing just fine, my man. Samoan Raider, thank you so much, and mahalo for joining us. They're both going to make this team. Tyron Johnson's definitely going to, that's my guy. Tyron, if you're watching this, you already know. Tyron said to me during practice, they say, "What's up, bro?" So, "What's up, boy? What's up, bro?" I said, "What's up, man?" Tyron Johnson is a guy who caught my eye early on. And from that point on, boom, it's game over. Like, this guy's going to be really good on special teams outside of a insurance policy as a deep threat downfield. Now, I'm not just talking about 7, 8, 9 bingers. I'm talking about running the full entire route tree, right? And again, he's so freaking fast. 4.36 40-yard dash. Are you freaking kidding me? You can't coach that speed. Now, can you catch? Usually guys who are speed demons can't. They have stones for hands. Not Tyron Johnson. Not Tyron Johnson. So again, he's not a one-trick pony. And I said on Raider Nation Radio when they had me on, they said, "What's the one thing to look for as we enter preseason?" Before the Hall of Fame game, I said, look, a lot of these guys, a lot of these undrafted rookie free agents, they're going to want to make a name for themselves. How do you do that? Football is the game of 3 phases, right? Offense, defense, special teams. Make a statement on special teams. You'll win your job on this 53-man roster while also cross-function your position, but the other 10 positions on the team, and then also knowing the schematics of the other team. So now you're getting the tough mental, physical drive that embodies the Raider way. And they're like, oh, kind of makes sense. It does. It does. Jan Paul Edward DeDill says, "What's up, D-Dub? What's going on, JP? JP is an Arizona Cardinals fan, but we got fans all over the fan base here. All love here. My man JP's been down with me since day one." Michael Fernetti says, "How many tie-ins do you see on the 53? Did Horsted do enough to make it, or is Bowers a higher likelihood?" Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know, Jesper Horsted or Nick Bowers. Anytime I think of Nick Bowers, I think of my friend who competed with me in the bodybuilding industry. You guys pro card from the Bay Area, Nick Bowers, firefighter. Anyways, I saw that. I was like, dude, Nick, you got to see this. I know you play tight end. But getting back to your question, that's one of those. It's a crapshoot. It's either do you want a run blocking tight end or do you want more of a receiving threat? Egalitarian 207 says, "Ryan, do you think Darian Butler, Luke Masterson, or Curtis Bolton will make the final 53 maps?" No, Curtis Bolton not gonna make it. Curtis Bolton not gonna make it. Darian Butler and Masterson, possibly. In fact, Darian Butler is a tackling magnet. But what he gives up, again, it comes down to fundamentals. He tries to make these high-profile tackles, and I tweeted this throughout the game. You can just see it in this game where he's trying to make these high-profile tackles, and he misses. He doesn't squeeze through the thighs. He doesn't wrap up, but he tried to lay the wood. But then there's other times where he does take proper angles using the hunt and gather technique that I posted on my YouTube videos of practice. All these things are fundamentals. This is not rocket scientist. Like taking a proper angle to a ball carrier, knowing how to throttle down, knowing how to attack the near hip of the ball carrier to avoid the cutback lane, using the sideline as a freaking extra defender. Come on, this is like football 101. If you don't know what to look for in practice, why the fuck are you there? You might as well just do this blind. I don't know. I think both those guys should make the team, or definitely on the cusp of making this team. One of them is going to be left out. Egalitarian said, "I think DJ Turner would be a good punt returner." That's exactly what he brings. I mean, when I covered the Niners, this guy by the name of DeAndre White played for Alabama. Same type of thing. Are they going to keep 6 or even 7 wide receivers? We don't know. And so what happened was he added value on special teams. You got to be a return man, right? You add value, versatility. Nutty Raider Nate says, "Great work, bro. Thank you so much. I appreciate you." He says, "How well did the O-line do in the run game in 11-on-11? I got to be honest, they didn't do well. The left side is horrible. Dylan Parham played horribly, but they'll be better for it. They'll be better for it." Nutty Raider Nate says, "Parham at left guard." J. Paul Erodidio says, "Cards playing the LV, so I'm scouting." You could scout. You could scout them. Get ready. Raiders are coming to town. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. You never know. But no, thank you so much. I appreciate it. All right, let's get to some of the other questions before I wrap this up. I'm going to go ahead and this is a very short one, obviously, because I have to hit the sack because I got to wake up for practice tomorrow. Got to hit my fasted cardio. But I just wanted to touch base with you guys on what's going on today. And I really wanted to do that so you guys can kind of get some insight onto what to look forward to tomorrow. So let's go ahead and talk about what should we look forward to tomorrow. Well, I've been watching training camp practice every single day. And so the way that Josh McDaniels likes to formulate his practices is not having repeat offenders, right? If you make a mistake, they're going to go to the sky cam and look, hey, look, Dylan, you have to get your head across. Or you did bad on this reach block. What happened here? Or vice versa, whatever the case may be. On the flip side of that, on the defense side of football, oh man, you were supposed to box that play back inside. Why'd you try to spill it? Right? So these are all fundamentals. This is not scheme. This is fundamentals. If you played football, you guys know what I'm talking about. This is not rocket scientists. It's fundamentals. Like doing your job. That is doing the Patriots way. That is also the Raiders way. If you don't do your job, you're not going to win. In order to win, you have to learn to do what? Learn how to not to lose, as Josh McDaniels always says. So again, if you can kind of pick up on the cultural identity of what this team is trying to accomplish, you can pick up on the subtle nuances of what they're trying to accomplish in practice. So I go in with a game plan every single day of what I would do if I was Josh McDaniels using that Raider way mentality. And then I would focus on that. That's why when you see me run these drills, I'm not running the drills. When you see them running the drills, I already know what they're going to do. I call it out before they even do the drill. When they're setting it up, I'm like, watch, this is what they're going to do. They should be doing this. This is how do I know how to do that? I watch game film. And if you're Josh McDaniels, you're going to fix those things that you made in the game. Tackling for one. Missed assignments is another. Again, you have to know what to look for. Otherwise, you're going to be out SOL, as they would say. Leo Phoenix says, I think the biggest question is on our O-line that needs to get right. Yeah, absolutely. JP says, we have 0 cornerbacks, so it's going to be a bloodbath. Yeah, man, your cornerbacks are horrible. Hey, at least you don't have PP anymore. He was bad in my grading system. We talked about this. Space Chimp says, what happened to the D towards the end of practice when the Patriots finally scored? Honestly, like I said, I didn't get a chance to see. I wasn't focused on that. I was focused more on the offense. But tomorrow, they'll probably flip it around. So I would be able to focus on the defense. So stay tuned for that. Stay tuned for that. DeMarcus Webb, do you see Leatherwood carving out a role at either? I think so. Hey, Alex Leatherwood's good. What? BEASTwriter said Alex Leatherwood is good. Let me tell you what I mean by that. All right, so I graded every single snap of Alex Leatherwood when he was kicked in week 5 to right guard. All right, so people are asking me, oh, how good is he? Well, I'm telling you right now, look, week 5 through 8, I graded every single snap, played at a Pro Bowl level, 7.2 out of a 10. 7.3 is at all pro level. 7.2 is Pro Bowl level. And then you double down on those gains, peeling back layers of the onion to get to the core, as I always like to say, in the DOB. And who did it go up against? Oh, teammate Bilal Nichols for the Chicago Bears playing a 34 base defense. Who was else on that defensive front seven? Oh, Khalil Mack. Oh, Angelo Blackson. Oh, Eddie Goldman. These guys are not household names, but you should get to know these guys. They're good. They are good players. Right? Roquan Smith. Bro, Alex Leatherwood did good against Roquan Smith. And then you look at it from the flip side of that and be like, oh, the Philadelphia Eagles, who did they go after? Javon Hargrave, 2019 nose tackle, who then signed that big money contract during COVID season in 2020. And that prompted the Steelers to play a game of musical chairs with their 34 base defense, moving Tyson Alu, the first round pick out of Cal, inside to nose tackle, to teaming up with Stephon Tuitt and Cam Hayward on the other side. And then Stephon Tuitt had an issue, and then also they had to trade for Chris Wormley from the Baltimore Ravens. How do I know how to do this? I'm telling you, I can do this shit blind. It's clockwork. And then they got Fletcher Cox. So you look at it, at what Alex Leatherwood is accomplishing at a Pro Bowl level. He's doing well. I love talking football. We can talk all 32. I don't give a damn. Thank you so much, Jamie, for the super chat and super sticker. I appreciate the love, my man. It means a lot. He says, enjoying your insights, bro. Respect from Hawaii. That's what's up. Mahalo for the love, bro. Where are you from? Like, what part of Hawaii? Kauai? I have some freaking friends in Kauai, man. Kauai, I've never been, but I heard Kauai is dope. Kona. I'm rooted in Hawaii. That's where my grandfather's from. Hawaii, my sister lives there. Brother-in-law obviously lives there. I got family out there. Yeah. Speaking of Hawaii, did you guys see that Manti Te'o documentary on Netflix? Wow. Manti Te'o is a beast in every sense of the word. But thank you so much, Jamie. I appreciate the love. Come on, Manny21 says, I want to see good protection and defensive stops this season. Can't watch another game with our defense giving up points and us losing again. Yeah. Anthony Forret says, any beast receipt today that is not privileged info? Well, I don't know what else to tell you other than I can't tell you. Jamie says, East Side Oahu. Okay, I see you. So you're from the East Side Oahu. That's what's up. Is what's up. Spencer Gonzalez says, in your opinion, what should be your starting 5 on the O-line? The best 5, right? We talked about the best 5. I think it should be Colton Miller, John Simpson at left guard, Right now, I'm going to say Andre James at center, although I think Dylan Parham has higher upside and should get that and win that job before week 8, if all goes well for him. Now, if the Raiders are winning, they're not going to make a change. Duh. Right guard, I would put Alex Leatherwood at right guard over Lester Cotton. Call me crazy. Call me crazy. I would put Alex Leatherwood at right guard today over Lester Cotton. That's not to take away anything from Lester Cotton. That just goes to show you how good I think Alex Leatherwood can be if he's inserted at right guard. I said it since day one. And again, a lot of you guys are new to joining me, but if you're not, this is like repeating myself, beating a dead horse with a freaking hammer. Like, dude, play him at guard, 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 play him at guard. And then right tackle, obviously, Jermaine Illuminor. Boom. That's your 5. That's my 5. That is my 5. Daniel Kim says, "Sup, brother? Saw we balled out against the Pats. Where do you think the needs additions based on the scrimmage? What do you think needs additions based on the scrimmage? One scrimmage is not a good enough sample size for me to pull if I was a GM and say, hey, look, this is exactly what we need to do. I need to see at least 2 practices of body of work in order to formulate that analysis. I will say the O-line does need help. Like the O-line is, and I said it once, games are won in the trenches. So don't blame Derek Carr for all you Raider Nation. To be, oh, Derek Carr sucks, man. Like he got sacked. Like, oh my gosh, he threw the ball out of bounds. Like, oh my God, Devontae Adams is wide open. But hey, if the offensive line can't hold up, your team's automatically going to be set to one dimension. Because if a running back can't see holes, what's going to happen? And you're playing from behind now, you're one-dimensional offense. If the line can't hold up and blow up holes for your running game, it's seek and destroy on the flip side of the bill. And then on top of that, the receivers can't get open because, hello, the rush is in your face in 1.2 seconds. So don't blame Derek Carr. Blame the offensive line. Everything needs to come down to the offensive line first and foremost because it's their responsibility to open up holes on the counters, on the pulls, on the traps, because it's an inside zone power run scheme. You guys know this. Dissect it on Twitter. The H-back is going to do a lot of pulling with the counters up the gut between the tackles. You got to get over there, man. You got to be able to freaking work your way on those splits in the B or the C gaps and freaking hit those guys and seal them off before hitting the second level. Or if it's a combo reach block or vice versa. Or if it's a sift block going against the uncovered edge defender on the flip side of the play side to backside. Come on now. Come on. Let's talk football. Space Chimp says, appreciate what you do, man. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys for hopping in here. Jameson Patton says, you think Parham has a better chance starting at guard or center? Equally both. But if I was to take a guess, I'd say center because Andre James is just not it. Now, I like Andre James personally because I met him, interviewed him. So personally, I like him as a person. But from a player's perspective, he ain't it, man. He gets out-leveraged, out-bullied. I would say Dylan Parham should be the starting center. Jean-Paul Edward Didio says, that's interesting. Wasn't he a tackle in college? I trust your analysis. Usually college predicts their position in their pros. Yeah, that is actually true. Yep. I know you trust my analysis. The Beast receipts check out. You know this. We have, again, we cover all 32 NFL teams in here. That's why I can talk about 32 teams off the top of my head. For instance, we have my man Jeff from KC. Good vibes only here. Don't be trolling people. This is my man Jeff. Again, we can talk about all 32 NFL teams. He says Carr red zone is the 31st in the last 5 years. That's bad. That is not good. But then again, it's like, well, people say, oh, well, is it really Carr or is it the team? Because there's 11 players on the football field. But ultimately, the quarterback is the one who gets the praise and the downfall. That's just the nature of the beast. That's just the nature of the beast. Egalitarian says Raiders offensive line needs to be good for the offense to be good. Anthony Provencio says come back with that same energy after this season. How did Parham do at guard against the ones of the Pats? Asking based off your opinion that Simpson should be the starting left guard. Yeah, he didn't look good. Dylan Parham did not look good. He got out leveraged at the point of attack, especially with inside zone runs, which is a simple gap scheme run, right? And so, especially if you have an H-back lined up, right? I'm not saying it happened, but I'm just saying, like, you still got to get over. Like, you gotta learn how to trap and pull and counter and do all that good stuff. And he just wasn't doing it. Finko, but that's not to say I don't like Dylan Parham. Already one on record saying it and put out a tweet. Got a lot of good feedback. I think he'll be fine. How is Chandler Jones and Perriman looking? Haven't seen or heard much of them in reports. Well, Chandler Jones is Chandler Jones. I mean, he's going to be Chandler Jones. Denzel Perriman, I expect him to be healthy week 1. I don't know. I don't know if Denzel Perriman. I like Denzel Perriman. I liked him out of college. Checked the Beast receipts. I thought he was I was like, man, this guy's not going to get drafted because he's like 5'10", but the guy is a tackling machine. And I'll be honest with you, he is a 2-down, 1-trick pony. He cannot. I shouldn't say cannot because that's bad. That's bad terminology. He struggles in pass coverage. That was the knock on him coming out of college. That's the knock on him right now. What happens is he gets too far back in his depth. That what I like to call fuga, which is F up the gray area, is you see that outside wide receiver or tight end run streaking behind him, and then he gets caught out of position. And that's his assignment down the seams. Because his eye candy is focused on the running back coming out of the flat. You guys are like, what the hell is this guy talking about? What is he talking about? Fuga. Joseph Chaparina says, what's your projected final season record? I will provide that once the 53-man roster is set. Jan-Paul Edward DiDio says, Devontae should help with that. Yep, absolutely. Jeff says, I'd sign Waller and cut Carr. Ooh. Dang. Man. Wow. Anthony Provencia says, Mahomes was born with a golden spoon in his mouth. Carr inherited a very tough situation. Very different. Carr's brother was a quarterback. Carr knows the game. Derek Carr, David Carr. We all know who they are. But in a nutshell, I'm going to go ahead and talk to you guys exactly what's going to happen as we enter tomorrow. So my line of thinking is the offensive line has to improve. And people are saying, oh, can you get clips of Isaiah Wynn? And is he going to be one of those guys that we can go after? And so I would say this, it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out, because at the end of the day, it's like the chemistry is just not there. And you can see the different combinations of the offensive lines throughout the preseason play where Josh McDaniels is trying to solidify the best 5. Unfortunately, no one is really stepping up to the plate to separate themselves from the rest of the pack. So from a coaching perspective, it's very difficult when you're sitting down with their positional coaches and say, hey, okay, this guy does these things well, but this guy doesn't do these things well, and then vice versa. You have the opposite. This guy does this well, but he doesn't do this well. So we're kind of like struggling to figure out who to freaking play. It's a freaking fine line. That's why I say now's the time to freaking insert Alex Leatherwood at right guard. What do you have to lose? What do you have to lose? What do you have to lose by not kicking in Alex Leatherwood to right guard or left guard? Right or left. Then you have 2 Bama products on the interior with Andre James at center or Dylan Parham. I don't give a damn. Just plug Alex Leatherwood somewhere in that guard position. I like Alex Leatherwood. I do. I like Alex Leatherwood a lot at interior guard. He graded well in my DOB's grading system. So I'm just telling you guys right now, plug him in at right guard. He's a graded extremely well in the preseason as a run blocker, which obviously interior guards are usually what? Good at run blocking and very poor at what? Not very poor, but not as good as what? Pass blocking. Otherwise, they'd be an offensive tackle on an island. Just saying. All right. I think that's going to be it for this live stream. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in and for the super chat and super stickers. I just want to give a special shout out for those that donated. Raiders, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate the love. And also, not to forget, Jamie, thank you so much for the love and respect all the way from the Aloha state. Well, that'll be it for this Pick Six live stream. I'm going to double down and come back tomorrow and do another Pick Six segment. And we're going to talk and break down the second Patriots joint practice as we keep things beast all the time here in the Dark Side of BEASTwriter family. Thank you so much for tuning in. I had fun. I hope you had fun. Take care for night. Have a good night. BEASTwriter out.